079. نعم تمين ارجل من ارجل من حيدر ما شاء الله كيف الحال لاباس؟ انا من وهران السلام عليكم.
I've listened to you so many times.
Send me a message inshallah.
Jesus loves you.
I love Jesus. What is next now?
Jesus loves you.
I'll give you my email.
Can I ask something before you go?
No, I didn't.
Can I ask? Was Jesus walking the streets in Palestine, telling people that he loved them? Was he doing that?
He proved that to them.
No. I'm saying, was he going around?
He's a God who teaches us by example.
So why was he insulting the Jews?
Bro.
Why did he insult the Jews?
He didn't.
Bro, I'm going to have to go.
Correct him, please.
So, Shamsi, I've got a question for you, actually.
No.
I've got a question
Until
for
you
Shamsi.
apologize for insulting Prophet.
Yeah,
And even if you apologize,
So,
you and Hatun, I don't speak to you.
Soko,
You and Hatun, I don't speak to you at all.
CO@gmail.
السلام عليكم الحال. بخير.
Drop us a line. Emails are slow.
Send me a message, huh? تقول له حسن
So, Shamsi, I've got a question for you.
No, you and Hatun, I don't speak to you both.
Why not?
You know why? Because once his name was talking to you. What's his name? Muhammad, Egyptian.
Yeah.
And you start, there's difference between having discussion, criticizing the Prophet from your point of view because you don't believe he's a prophet,
Yeah.
and insulting.
Now, what's
You
an
want
insult?
on insulting
Give me an example.
this a backward man from the cave, right? This and that. Bro, you from Britain.
If the evidence suggests that, Shamsi,
He's a backward man because of the cave.
if the evidence suggests that, then it's a fair comment.
Was Jesus from London City?
It's a fair comment.
Was Jesus from London City?
Why do I say he was a backward man?
Bro, you call a
He
backward man.
owned slaves. He owned slaves.
Wait.
He traded in slaves.
Wait.
He allowed women to be raped.
Wait.
He had sex with a child. Is any of these statements false?
No.
Which one of those statements is false, Shamsi?
Firstly, if the European followed Prophet Muhammad's advice, you would have gone enslaved black people. Why I'm
not
saying
true.
that, let me finish. Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam said, anyone that goes around and enslave people, enslave what? Free people, then Allah will be his opponents on the day of resurrection. So Islamically, you're not allowed to kidnap people and say that I'm slaves. That's why Ibn Hajar al-Haythami, who existed, let's say, nearly 700 years ago, he said that, Ibn Hajar al-Haythami, quoting another scholar, he said there is no slavery anymore in our time. How long ago? 700 years ago. Servitude, I call it servitude, yeah? Because when you say slavery, people have an image about slavery, yeah? I call it servitude. He said, why? He said, because what's happening now is 700 years ago. 700 years ago. He said, what's happening now? People that have been taken as servants, either been kidnapped, or the Muslims fighting each other. And none of them is permissible to own because it's haram.
Allow me to
so
reply.
now, let me finish. The European, what they did, they came to black people in Africa and they enslaved them.
To that point. Allow me to reply to that point.
You have to allow me to finish.
I know what you do. You talk and
No,
then
I have
you
to
walk
finish
off
that.
at the
I'm
end.
not going to walk off.
And that's what it's probably going to do.
I'm not going to walk off.
Okay.
The tactic of Bob doesn't let you finish.
Yeah.
That's the tactic of Bob. Why? Because he knows.
Because I know what you do,
that
Shamsi.
Look, see, he's not going to let me finish.
Shamsi, you've made a point.
No, allow me to finish. Bob, if
You're making a second point now.
Bob, no. If you don't allow me to finish.
Okay, so you're making 2 points.
I'm not
I'll
making
reply in
second.
as
Look,
many points.
Bob,
That's the second point. You're going on to
Bob, take
European
care of yourself
slavery.
because it's a joke. You know why? Because you don't let me to finish.
Shamsi,
Bob, you have to let me to
I know
finish.
what you're going to do. You're going to
I'm
talk
not
and
making
talk and
second
then
point.
you're going to walk away.
Bob,
You'll probably even do it now.
Bob.
From chicken.
So you're making 2 points.
I've been here 15 years, yeah?
Wait, so now he's making a different point. You're Shamsi,
Let him finish.
Let the people see the love of Jesus.
Let him finish.
The love is manifested.
I mean, we know that
Let him
Shamsi's
finish.
got his hype boys around.
Are you scared, Bob?
Right, Shamsi's been running for me for 4
Let him
years.
finish.
Oh,
Come on.
Bob, I exposed you many times to be a liar, to believe God's inside your eyes.
So
Come on.
can I
No,
reply
I haven't
to your
finished.
point?
I haven't finished.
Okay, well, we'll let him go on and then we'll see if he actually listens to the reply.
No, it's not 2 points so
It is
far.
going on to a
It's the
second
same
point.
point.
It's going on to second point.
Are you his commentator?
Yes, I am. Hurry up.
Okay. He's the teacher of Christianity. The Christians, they will not keep quiet when the person is speaking.
Right.
They will keep disturbing.
Let's-
And by the
was
way,
rolling.
this person is known to be always drinking alcohol before he comes to speaker's corner. So imagine alcoholic person recording for you. Anyway, so let me do my first point here. So my first point, which you interrupted me very rudely.
You finished that
Now, Akhi, this man, you know, people say Allah from this guy, you know. This guy who believed God was inside private party.
Shamsi,
Allow me to finish my point.
what's your point?
If you don't interrupt, I will finish. If you don't interrupt, are you ready?
Okay, shall we do it time?
No, are you ready?
Okay, so I'm going to be quiet. Let's see if he allows me to reply.
Let's put you on test, yeah?
Yeah.
So what I was going to say about the slavery, the Europeans, when they came to enslave black people, they don't use the Quran. They use what? The Bible, okay? So what I was going to mention, he tried to say Prophet is backward because of slavery and so on. I'm going to assure him that if Prophet Muhammad was backward because of slavery, your God must be worse than, because Prophet Muhammad was a man. For the sake of argument, except to forget for the sake of argument, no. This is nonsense. Prophet is the best man for mankind, yeah? Your God who said what? If your slave doesn't listen to you, you put a hole in his ear. That's his God. So are you going to call him backward?
Okay, can I reply now?
Yeah, are you going to call your God backward?
Now let's see if Shamsi doesn't interrupt.
Let's see, Bob.
So the reason why I criticise Muhammad for being backward is because of a number of different things, of which slavery is one example. But let me list the reasons why. But it's important to frame this conversation properly. Because
Can you come this side?
oh, he's interrupting.
I said, can you
Look
come
at
this
that.
side?
No. I
want to go this side, brother.
Why, Shamsi, why are you interrupting? Why are you interrupting?
So now if I said to you, if I said you
Oh
cannot...
no, look at how he's interrupting. It's amazing how he loses the high ground, and I knew that he would. I knew that he would. Are you still
Any
interrupting?
human being-
Oh look, there he's interrupting again.
Interrupting.
Oh, Shamsi. There we go. There we go.
I know that.
It's alright, you've got hype men, they'll interrupt for you, they
Let
always
the man
do.
speak who believes God is a
Oh,
private
he's still
party.
interrupting. Are you
speaking to him,
done?
I'm not
Are you
speaking to you.
done?
I'm
Are
not
you done?
interrupting you, I'm speaking to
He
him.
goes on about
Are you gonna
manners.
control my mouth?
And look about his
Wait a
manners.
minute. So I'm not allowed
Look
to
about
speak to
his
anyone else.
manners. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why I wasn't embarrassed to interrupt Shamsi, because
Yes, that's
Shamsi
it.
is now
Hypocrisy.
demonstrating
The Western world,
the exact kind of
he's a real
manners
example
that he's
of
criticised.
white
Look what he's doing.
Christian supremacists who
Did
know
I
for
not? Did I
hypocrisy.
not say Shamsi would do this?
Yeah, you did.
I said I'm
Did
gonna
not
run. I'm gonna
Shamsi
run.
protest that I should listen
I
to
believe it's haram
him?
protest.
And now he's not listening to the counterpoint. So Shamsi has given up the high ground on interruptions. So now that we've done that, if he interrupts me again, I will feel at liberty to interrupt Shamsi as I please. So let us frame the argument correctly. The reason why Muhammad is subject to criticism is because of the lofty position that he holds within the Islamic community. Every Muslim to a T will say that Muhammad is the best example.
Indeed.
He is the best man.
Indeed.
There you go, interrupting once more.
I'm not-
There you go, interrupting.
can't
So now
speak.
I'm going to be at liberty to interrupt Shamsi
Yes,
and watch him
I'm not
complain
interrupting, indeed.
when I do. So, the fact of the matter is, if you're saying that Muhammad is the best example, then you're saying that Muhammad is the best example when he traded in slaves. That he is the best example when he owned slaves. That he is the best example when he married a 6-year-old child, as if a child could ever consent, and then had sex with a 9-year-old child, as if a 9-year-old child could be ready to have sex. If you're saying that Muhammad is the best example when he allowed his followers to rape their female captives, even though they were married still. You're saying that he is the best example when he robbed pagan caravans, that he waged war, that he said that he will not stop until all the Jews and Christians are excluded from the Arabian Peninsula. And he's smiling, the Muslim at the background. Nodding his head, smiling, you know. Yes, be proud. Be proud. There you go, notice the interruption. Be proud of the ethnic cleansing
I'm going to expose
of
him
Muhammad.
Today, I'm
Now,
going to expose
ladies
him.
and gentlemen.
Let him speak.
Now, ladies and gentlemen. Notice the interruptions. Notice the
I'm gonna expose
interruptions.
him
Notice
like
the
I exposed
interruptions.
Bush
And
and
watch,
Putin.
ladies and gentlemen, when I interrupt them, they'll all be complaining about it. But they're not complaining when Shamsi's doing
By the way,
it.
you talk for
Now.
minutes. He talk already for minutes.
Now,
4 minutes, خلاص. Take out 4 minutes.
listen. So that's the argument framed correctly. Now,
talk already for
if it
minutes,
is a
Bob.
case
Bob, it took
that
4 minutes.
Mohammed
Bob,
did not do
Don't be
these
scared, it took
things,
4 minutes. Are you going to be...
I offered the time. You said no.
Are you going to speak for long?
No, you offered time.
Okay.
You said
So
no.
when are you going to stop?
So no. Notice the interruption.
I'm a man of honor.
I'll stop when I finish my
But you
point.
mentioned many points.
Do you remember,
No, you
Shamsi,
mentioned many
when you
points.
said that?
No, I
I'll
mentioned
stop
one
when I
point.
No, you mentioned 2 points.
About slavery.
You mentioned 2 points.
Slavery.
Notice.
Anyway,
Notice the hype man. Notice the
I want
hype
to
man.
refute his claim on
Notice
camera.
the hype man. Notice the hype man. Let me finish. Let me finish. Shamsi says to let me finish. So please, hype men, shut up. Right. Furthermore, so if Muhammad has done all these things and he is the best example, then that means that it is an example for you to do. And I think that it is fair to call slave traders backwards. It is fair to call paedophiles backwards. It is fair to call people who perform ethnic cleansing backwards. Muslims complain when ethnic cleansing is done to them in Burma, but they're saying Allahu Akbar when Muhammad sought to ethnically cleanse the Arabian Peninsula. And this is the hypocrisy that your moral example leads you into. Now, let me address your second point.
What is you telling that story? No, doesn't work like that.
No. It does.
No.
It's going to take me 2 minutes. It's going to take me 2 minutes.
Doesn't work like that, bro.
No.
You mentioned many points, bro. You mentioned about slavery.
No.
You mentioned about slavery. You mentioned about Muslim marriage. You mentioned about Muslim.
Now notice they're complaining. Notice they're complaining. Let me finish.
On the camera, they say who's gonna run.
So he said, well, you said that God of the Christians is worse. But Muslims consistently fail to appreciate.
I didn't say worse.
Muslims
I didn't say
fail
worse,
to
you misquote me.
appreciate
You just misquote me.
the
Okay,
fact
carry on.
that the covenant is what Christians believe in. Covenant old and new. And we sit in a new covenant, a new paradigm. So we don't go out onto the street saying Moses, follow Moses. We say follow Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ did not do the things Muhammad did. Jesus Christ is a better example to you than Muhammad. If the shoe fits, Muhammad should wear it. And there are titles that we give to people who trade in slaves, rape, commit genocide, and then have sex with children.
Finished.
Now you can reply.
Oh, you know what?
I'm going to
I'm not gonna
interrupt you
finish.
freely.
I'm not gonna finish today. You know what? You're gonna be over. Because you mentioned many points, my brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, many times I have debated with the Bob.
That's a lie.
Bob believes.
A handful of times.
Bob believes God is inside his eye, firstly.
That's
Second,
also a lie. I don't believe that.
Okay, I'm gonna carry on speaking. You're gonna check our channel, Shamsi with Bob, into as da'wah.
And I do not say what Shamsi says that I do.
Let me deal every point. Let me deal with every point, yeah? He said we're gonna call every person that involved in slavery backward.
I didn't say that.
I'm gonna finish because you misquote me as well. You talk about slavery, yes? Now, there's 2 types, there's slavery and servitude. What is the difference between the two? In Islam, believe every human being is free.
Except your slaves that your right hand possess.
And no one should be servant. You know, 2 wrong doesn't make 1 right. Do you agree with that?
Carry on, you're talking.
No, I'm asking you, do you agree with that?
I'm not answering, carry on talking.
Man of honor, he's scared to answer. Because why? If for the sake of argument, if I was doing wrong, that shouldn't be justified to do wrong. Because if someone is raping your wife, you're not gonna go rape his wife, are you?
Like
for
Muhammad had his followers rape the wives of the people that they defeated.
The Prophet's son is better than you, more respectful than you. Now let me carry on. And now he mentioned some points. So servitude, as I've mentioned, my brothers and sisters, to break down and expose the hypocrisy of the white supremacist Christian, Bob,
race
you're gonna
card
see that.
has nothing to do with this debate.
Let me finish now.
Race
Okay?
has nothing
Allow me
to
to
do
finish.
with this debate.
You are a white supremacist Christian. Okay, I know that very well.
Prove it.
And now
That's an accusation.
I'm gonna elaborate. Let me finish.
My black
Let
brother,
me finish.
peace be with you.
Yeah, pretend.
There you go.
Yeah.
My Latino brother.
Yeah.
Right behind the camera.
That's what you did.
The way how this
Racist
Racist.
white supremacist who loves his black and Latino
It's
brothers
more
and sisters in
racist.
Christ.
It's more racist for you to say I'm racist. That's more racist for you to say I'm racist.
I've not said you're racist.
Anyway,
I know that you're not a racist. I'm not throwing out false
I know you're
accusations.
racist.
Prove it. There's the accusation.
Let me carry on.
Where's the proof?
Let me carry on.
If someone accuses you
Elaborate.
publicly,
So
don't they have to
slavery
provide the
and
proof?
servitude-
Isn't that in your Sharia
I was
law?
not cutting you like that.
Isn't
I
that your
was not cutting
Sharia
you like
law?
that. I was not cutting you like that, Bob. No, wait. Bob, I never cut you like that, you know.
He
Except you're
interrupted
scared.
me all the
No, it wasn't
time,
like that.
and I said
was
I would
speaking
be
to a
free
brother.
to interrupt
No,
him. And then what did I
that
say?
is a sign of
I
you
said
scared.
he would complain.
That's a sign of you scared.
There you go.
No. Firstly, I was speaking to a brother.
Cameras don't
That is
lie.
not protect. No.
You talk to me the same way you're talking to him, to your cheerleader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Same way you talk
hypocrisy.
I was talking to the
Anyway, he
camera.
mentioned points.
I was talking to the camera.
I have to clarify those points, yeah? So servitude has been mentioned by the scholars. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Quran, Adam was created as a free man. Servitude in Islam came after, and it never came by with the Muslims. It exists after.
That's true.
Now, when is allowed servitude? Where? Not because you're from a tribe, therefore you're allowed to enslave any tribe, as the all-loving Jesus have mentioned to the Israelites to enslave people. Yes? Secondly, when is allowed in Islam? In a time of war. That's why Prophet Muhammad
So he
alayhi
admits
salatu-
Muhammad practiced slavery.
the Prophet
I wasn't
Muhammad,
lying.
the Prophet Muhammad
So I
alayhi
wasn't
salatu-
lying.
the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu said, anyone that goes around and it takes 3 people as a slave, his prayer will not accept 40 days. If the European followed the teaching of Prophet, they would have gone to enslave the black people in Africa.
Except
the
that
Prophet
for
Muhammad
1400 years,
the Prophet
Muslims
Muhammad
took
said,
Christians as
that is not-
slaves.
There's no discussion, brother.
And that for 1400 years, Muslim Arabs enslaved Africans.
I'm going to refute every point.
This is the history
He's scared.
Shamsi doesn't
Wallah,
want to
that is a
talk
sign.
about.
That is a sign he's
The
scared.
African
Wallah, as a
slave
sign he's
trade
scared. Okay.
committed by Muslims for 1400 years
Okay, can I speak now?
dwarfs the European slave trade.
Do you know why? Wallah,
Did I not say they'd all complain?
No, Bob. I was look, Bob.
You were rude to me, you interrupted me, now I said I would be at liberty to interrupt you as
Bob,
and when I want.
no, Bob. I
So
was speaking to a
apologise,
brother.
apologise
Okay. I apologize for what?
for interrupting me.
But you interrupted me, apologize.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm not sorry.
There you go. There you go. And that's it. And that's it. He thinks that humiliating someone
I'm sorry.
is. No, I don't.
I'm
believe
joking,
you.
I'm joking.
I don't believe you.
I was joking.
I don't believe you, Shamsi.
So can I speak now?
I don't believe you. No, I'm going to interrupt you at liberty.
That sounds scared. You're scared because I'm going to expose you today.
I'm going to interrupt you at liberty.
Why? Because you're scared. I'm going to expose you.
Are you denying that there was an Islamic slave trade in Africa?
Can I speak now?
Are you denying it?
No, let me speak. You're not going to tell me like this. I'm not. Because when you're speaking, I ask you a question, you never ask my question. Now let me. So when
Go and look it up yourselves,
He's
people.
not going to let me finish. In a time of war, you know.
I know, it's shocking, isn't
Brother,
it?
brother.
It's okay when Shamsi does it. You weren't complaining when Shamsi was doing
That
it.
is a sign he's scared.
Really?
That is
Why
a
am I here,
sign he's
Shamsi?
scared.
Bob the
You don't know
liar.
what Bob is doing. He's not going to walk away, but he's going to stand here, interrupt me every time I'm speaking. Why? He doesn't want his viewers to
not
hear
interrupting
my
you.
refutation against him.
Keep talking.
You understand? He
Keep
doesn't want to hear
talking.
that.
I'm
So
just
allow me to
passing
speak.
on commentary.
No, it's not commentary. I was not
These
doing
are
that.
commentary footnotes.
Bob, I was not doing that.
Commentary footnotes.
Bob, I was not doing that to you.
You were interrupting.
No, Bob, I was not like that.
Carry
I
on
was
with your
speaking-
presentation.
Bob, I was speaking to
It's
a brother.
hilarious to listen how many lies Shamsi can spit out
You like- I
in a
guess you many
single talk.
Okay, let me speak. No. Anyway, so now we will talk about servitude in a time of war. Not like Christian
Slavery.
teaching. The time that's not slavery the European did to the black people. May Allah bless and may Allah forgive and answer those people who died by the hands of the white racists. And
the jihadis.
And now, listen carefully now. Now, so he mentioned in a time of war. In a time of war, the Muslim leader has 4 options. Not the Asr of Islam, that's what the period of Islam is not slavery or servitude. What is the 4 options? In a time for the war prisoners, either you take them as prisoners, and when you take them as war prisoners, you exchange them with the other prisoners. Prophet did that. That's why Prophet's main concern is not to keep them as a servant. Yeah.
Yep.
The second option, you ask for money. You say, okay, you want to your people, give me this amount of money, and I'll let them go free.
Yep.
These 2 so far demolish his lie against Prophet Muhammad.
Doesn't.
His main concern is slavery.
Because
or servitude.
Muhammad still traded in slaves.
The third option, Prophet did it. You let all people to go free. To show the mercy, sometimes it's wisdom, to show the mercy of Islam, and from the wisdom to show the strength and the power of Islam. So you keep them as a servant.
I agree.
When you keep them as a servant, you treat them the way you treat yourself.
That's what
you
Muhammad
take
did.
care of them.
Yep.
And you're not allowed, Prophet Muhammad said you're not allowed to call them slave. When a man, so why you chasing slave? When Prophet said don't do it.
But
You're lying against Prophet
are you lying?
You're lying.
Why are you lying, Shamsi?
Now,
Say to the camera, did Muhammad trade in slaves?
Allow me to finish now.
Did he own slaves?
Allow me to finish now. So now,
okay, he's finishing.
Out of one, I haven't finished yet. There's many points you mentioned.
Many points.
Prophet said Aisha.
Yeah.
Prophet that he tried to genocide.
Yeah.
So I have a long time to go.
Okay.
And I'm standing here. Don't interrupt me.
Just answer this.
Don't interrupt me.
Did Muhammad trade in slaves?
Now, when you
did he own slaves?
Now when you keep please let me just let me deal with it. May Allah bless you. Let the Christians who are watching to know he's very rude and he's scared for me to answer the questions.
But it's all right when Shamsi does it.
And now
it's all right when Shamsi does it.
And now look, another Christian.
It is a good question.
Another Christian.
And it's a question that every African should be asking. Go and look up the Islamic slave trade in Africa.
I know it's very rude. So now
been lied to by Shamsi.
In the time of war, now Prophet Muhammad
yes.
why we take as now if you know what? To show the power of Islam, for no one try to attack the Muslims, I'm going to keep them as servants. However, when you keep them as servants, you should not cut off you should not, like the God of Jesus said, put a hole in his ear. No. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu a man came to him. He said, "Oh Messenger of Allah, my chief has tried to cut off my private part." Prophet said, "Go after him. Bring him." The man who he ran away. Because you know Prophet will punish him for that. Prophet Muhammad said, if you hate your servant, there's nothing except you have to let him go free.
So now we've established Muhammad did have slaves. So I wasn't wrong.
Allow me to finish.
Muhammad had slaves. He admits it. So I'm not lying.
Allow me to finish.
So that's one for me.
Allow me to finish.
Go on to your next point.
Allow me to finish. And now, as I've mentioned, you're not allowed to do that, but in a war, yes, we say that.
Yes.
However, let me tell you, in the Bible, because if you believe God all the time is good, so when God said have slaves because they're not Israelites, was that good or evil?
There's no new covenant command to have slaves.
I ask you that. Bob, answer my question right now. When God said in the Bible have a slave, was that good commandment or evil commandment?
Okay, so now let me talk.
No, answer my question. No, good commandment or evil commandment?
No,
so it's my time. I'm giving you my time.
No. How long has he been talking?
No. You mentioned many points.
3 or 4 minutes.
Many points. Yeah.
Really? 3 or 4 minutes.
I see. Thank you very much. The first time I call it minutes just. Yes.
No, I think it's a bit more than 3 or 4 minutes. We'll have to see in the playback.
No, wait. Everyone's seen how many points this person mentioned. And now he doesn't want to let me finish. He mentioned about servitude and Islam.
I'm letting you finish.
He doesn't let me.
But I knew you'd go on forever.
Because he mentioned many points. It's not good for me to go forever. Because he mentioned many points.
He's just admitted he intends to just keep talking.
No, because he mentioned many points. Bob, you mentioned our Prophet's marriage to Aisha.
That was part of a thesis.
No, that's not
that was one thesis with examples.
Let me speak. Brother, if you cannot handle it, walk away. Let me speak. Now let me speak, please. Barakallahu feek. Because when I see the Christians who is a real person here, who run away and who is scared for people to speak. So so what I'm saying simply, my question is an open question, you have to answer it. When God, or Christian, when God said to Moses, Abraham, to many prophets and messengers, when he told them have slaves, was that a good commandment or evil commandment? If you say it was a good commandment, therefore having a slave sometimes can
But he's not going to let me talk.
Good commandment. If you say that's an evil commandment, therefore your God command with evil things. Secondly,
Old covenant, new covenant.
Regardless, all wrong.
No, it is relevant.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is relevant.
It's not.
Because you say Muhammad is the example for now.
It's not.
Muhammad's the example for now, and his teaching is for now.
Anyway,
that's why it's relevant.
Yes, that's why.
So your argument is debunked.
That's true.
Because the Old Testament is not relevant for now. It's the New Testament that is. No, we've heard these kind of arguments all the time, Shamsi. So, we've dealt with slavery, and you've admitted that Muhammad was a slave trader, and he did own slaves, and he is the example for today. Move on to one of the other points. Like, for instance, Muhammad saying to ethnically cleanse the Arabian Peninsula of the Jews and Christians. He says bad manners. Remember, he interrupted me when I was speaking, and he complained.
I know he's
on camera.
They're white supremacist racists. So what I'm going to do?
He throws out the race card. He throws out the race card. Can he prove that I'm a racist? I'm working with a Latino. There you go. I told you he'd run away. I told you he would run away. No,
you're interrupting me. Don't walk away.
there you go. I told you he would walk away. I told you he would walk away. Bye, Shamsi.
Would you be happy someone to be a referee? Actually, a referee. No. Would you be happy to choose someone?
Shall we do it time?
No. Before time.
Shall we do it time?
Before time. No.
Shall we do it time?
Yeah, 10 minutes. You're already telling ping, bro. Come on.
5 minutes. 5
Let me
minutes.
finish. Let me finish.
No, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
You mentioned many points against my prophet.
5
You
minutes,
lied against my
5
prophet.
minutes.
You have to let me finish. Sorry.
5 minutes.
You have to let me finish.
You see,
And that's
I'm
why you've been
offering
rude.
him a time
No,
debate.
before that,
Who's running away?
when I finish, I'll give you 5 minutes.
He's running away.
Well,
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
when I finish my points, we got to 5 minutes, 5 minutes.
Keep talking, but because you interrupted me earlier, I said that I would continue to interrupt
Basically,
you. And then
I'm
I
gonna
said you'd
interrupt you.
complain
If
about
you
it.
walk away, you're scared. How does that work? If you keep interrupting
Shamsi,
me,
you said I would
have
run
to
away.
walk
I'm
away.
still here. You're the one who's trying to walk away.
I said you keep interrupting me, so I have to walk
But
away.
you didn't mind interrupting
I
me.
never interrupted the way you're doing it.
You interrupt. Oh, so now it's like a woman who says, you know, are you
Excuse me,
calling me? It's kind of like.
Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that?
It's a character.
Why are you saying that woman like that?
So, ladies and gentlemen, what we've seen is once again.
I tell you what, find it. I'm going to be here.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we see the fact that Shamsi lives by double standards. He demands that you listen to him, but then complains if you interrupt him. Shamsi made the argument that I insulted Muhammad by describing his behaviour appropriately. If a man has sex with a 9-year-old child, they are appropriately called a paedophile. Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old. If a man owns and trades in black slaves, he is accurately called a slave trader.
Right.
These are not insults, these are facts. And Shamsi admitted that Muhammad had slaves. When Shamsi was confronted by the fact that Muhammad said he wanted to cleanse the Arabian Peninsula of its Christians and Jews so none would remain but the Muslims, Shamsi's response was, God is great, but he complains if the Burmese do to the Muslims what Muhammad did to others. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why this is important is because Muslims uphold Muhammad as the best example today and say that we should be following his teachings right now. Which means that if we were to follow Islamic teaching, we would have slavery today. Just like they are still holding and trading in slaves in the Islamic world right now. Shamsi lied when he said that if we followed Islamic teaching that we would be rid of slavery. The fact of the matter is that from the foundation of Islam until the present day, Muslims continue to trade in slaves. If I want to buy a black African child as a slave, the only place that I can do it is in the Islamic Republic of Sudan. And you can buy little black children for less than you can buy a Big Mac meal. And that is why it is appropriate to criticize Muhammad as an example to us today. Now Shamsi, in reply said, what about the slavery in the Old Testament?
Yeah, he said that.
But Muslims who make this argument don't understand how Christianity works. Christianity works based on a covenant system. When Christians go into the street, we don't evangelize in the name of Moses. We don't say people should be following the Mosaic law. We say that people should follow the example of Jesus Christ, who never owned a slave when slavery was normal, and his apostles did not own slaves, even when slavery was normal. And furthermore, when one of the apostles, dealing with a slave, sent the slave back to his master, he sent it with a letter that said, receive him back, not as a slave, but as a brother. Right. Jesus Christ said, I have come to set the captives free. Who were the captives that are being described there? Those are the captives of the Old Testament. Those are slaves. So I am right to say that Jesus Christ is a better example than Muhammad, and I am right to say that the example that we follow right now is important. It is not insulting Muhammad to call him by his proper names, which is rapist, slave trader, paedophile, ethnic cleanser, commander of armies that murdered on a mass scale.
But what, adulterer?
Adulterer also.
Why?
The only prophet that's ever recorded as having lusted after his own adopted son's wife while she was married.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are not insults to Muhammad, these are facts about Muhammad. And if Muslims don't like those facts, then perhaps they should find themselves better examples. And that would be Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen.
That is why for 2,000 years Christians fought against the slave trade. We fought against the Islamic slave trade from the 7th century. In the 10th century and 11th century, religious orders were going into the Islamic world to buy slaves back. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, the choice that you make for your moral example affects how you live. In the same way that your choice of politician or your choice of fitness instructor affects how you live. And so, if your moral example was a man who married a 6-year-old child and had sex with her at 9 and traded in black slaves and allowed his followers to rape women they had captured in war and raped a woman himself and lusted after an adopted son's wife, then that is a bad example to follow. But a better example would be Jesus Christ. Look to Jesus in the Gospels and allow him to educate your soul.
Right, Bob.
Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions?
Any questions going?
Up until that point, but like I just wanted you to extrapolate a little further because obviously we do have food requirements going on. Yeah, can you expand on like the nonsense of even attempting to argue that Muhammad is in any way sinless when even the counterfeit Christ in the Quran is actually sinless?
Okay.
Even the truth will out within lies.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Question, Bob. Sila.
as Christians, we believe that Jesus Christ was sinless. He is the example that we are calling you to follow.
Right.
Not some corrupt politician, not some celebrity, not your favourite pop idol, but we're calling you to follow the example of Jesus Christ, the one who our civilization was built upon. The Armenian civilization was built upon. The Ethiopian civilization was built upon. And until Islamic aggression conquered it, the whole of North Africa and the Middle East was built upon.
And look at the state of
Muhammad is someone, if we were to compare Muhammad and Jesus to fitness instructors, and who we were going to employ as a fitness instructor, Jesus Christ would look like an Olympian athlete and Muhammad would look like a fat slob. The reality is, if you follow Muhammad's example, you will end up celebrating, as Shamsi did, on camera, ethnic cleansing. Shamsi did that on camera. He said Allahu Akbar when I quoted to him the hadith where Muhammad said, I won't rest until I expel every Jew and Christian from Arabia and none but the Muslims remain. And Shamsi's response was to say, that's great. Glory to God.
Don't be embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed, he said.
Don't be embarrassed.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the media tell you that all religions teach the same and that we should treat all religions as if they are the same. But the reality is that is not true. A Christian world looks very different from an Islamic world. And if you don't believe me, compare Europe to Saudi Arabia and ask yourself, where would you rather live?
That's a good question.
It really matters, and you should not be ashamed of pushing back against Islam and upholding with pride and certainty and commitment your conviction that Christ is the truth and that we want to live in a Christian world.
Amen.
Any other questions?
Amen.
No, thank you.
Any other questions going once?
Steve, question.
Steve, have you got a question? No. Okay, stop trying to go, people. Any other questions? Questions going twice?
When does the bus arrive?
Questions going 3 times?
Is this the